Hey everyone, welcome to part 6 of this trophy gathering walkthrough for Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Thanks for coming along on the journey with me, and a special thank you to all the channel members. Now let's finish up Act 1. Starting off at the Old Farm Exhibition flag in these Stone Wave Cliffs, we're going to go to Upgrade Attributes, and we're going to put more points into Might for every available character. So Ciel will get up to 51 points in Might, and Lune will get up to 54 points in Might. Eventually we'll put points into other attributes, but for right now everything is focused on Might. And now we can go ahead and rest up before we continue our journey. Now let's leave the expedition flag and we're going to continue on down toward the old farm.
Looks like a farm.
Like old times, eh?
Next to the triangular shaped hut there's going to be some chroma on the ground, so we can pick that up. And then we'll turn around and we're going to hop down this ledge and go down to the lower area so that we can grab this item on the ground to get a polished chrome catalyst. Now we're going to proceed forward along the path and go fight the enemies down the hill. Here we have a fight against 2 Rochers and 1 Hexga. Starting off, Gustav gets the first attack. We're going to use a marking shot against one of the Rochers. And then Maelle will follow that up with a Pierce into the same enemy to instantly kill him. Now over to Ciel, we're going to have her use her Twilight Slash, and we're going to attack the other Rocher. That's not only going to do some damage, but it's also going to give us 1 Moon Charge. Now it's the enemy's turn. The Hexga has some shields, so parrying doesn't do a whole lot. I'm just going to do some dodges, which are a little bit easier to pull off than the parries. And then when the Rocher attacks, because he doesn't have shields, I will parry that one, and the expedition counter should be enough to take him down.
Look out.
The Hexga gives himself some more shields, but luckily we have Maelle, who can use breaking rules to take all those shields away, do some damage, put her into offensive stance, and regain a whole lot of AP. Now Ciel is going to use Focused Foretell against the enemy. That will put us into Twilight mode, and we're also going to give him 10 stacks of Foretell. Gustav can use Lumiere Assault in order to gain a whole bunch of overcharge charges. And when the enemy attacks again, we'll parry him for big damage. And now with Maelle, I can use a Pierce. Even though I'm not buffed in any way, it still does a lot of damage thanks to a good critical hit. And now back to Ciel. Because I'm in Twilight mode, I can apply double Foretell, so if I use another Focus Foretell, I can get him up to 20 stacks. Here comes another enemy attack, and I'll parry these ones as well, and I got another lucky critical hit. And now with Gustav, because I've got all my overcharge charges, I can go ahead and have him use overcharge, and because of those critical hits, this is enough to take him out. If that didn't happen for you, then what you'd want to do is have Maelle take away all of his shields if he has any, and then have Ciel use Twilight Slash with those 20 stacks of Foretell. You should be enough to take him down very easily at that point. After the fight, we're going to turn around and we're going to follow the red flowers up and toward the right. If you keep following those red flowers, they'll take you all the way up to the top of the area where we can find another paint cage. To break all the paint cage locks, you want to go to the left side of this rocky outcrop on the edge of the cliff, and then aim straight out. Just to the left of the large tree is going to be the first lock. Then aim over toward the right, and in between the rocky outcrop next to us and the one further in the distance on the left is the second lock. And then over toward the right on top of the cliff, there's going to be another one. So after you break all 3 locks, then go ahead and grab the item inside the paint cage, and it's a new weapon for Maelle called the Duenum. Now let's leave this place by running down the hill and following those flowers until we get down to the bottom. There's another one of those Petank enemies nearby, but if we run straight at him, he's going to run the wrong direction. So instead what we want to do is just circle around him. We'll run over toward the right to go up by that triangular hut where we got the chroma earlier, and then we can run past this and then go toward the back side of the cliff. We'll then go over toward the left, And we're going to hop down. And now we can push that Petank out toward where that paint cage was. So we'll go through this opening. And then we'll circle around toward the left because we want to push him down the hill further. Ultimately, we want him to go over toward the right side, so keep circling around toward the left side of the screen, and we'll keep pushing him over into this canyon. His safe spot is on the left, so we're going to get him over there, and then we're going to initiate the first strike. Some people really struggled to defeat this Petank, but it's actually incredibly easy. What you need to keep in mind is that when he summons a Nevron, he is not going to take much damage until that Nevron is destroyed. So our first priority is to get rid of the Nevron. We're going to start by shooting its weak point, and that's going to do a ton of damage to him. And then we'll shoot him a few more times. We just want to make sure that we still have 2 AP left with Gustav so that we can use a marking shot. So now that we still have 2 AP, we'll go ahead and use Marking Shot against the Petank. Now the Lancelier is going to attack us. We need to parry this thing in order to destroy it. And once the Nevron is gone, now that Petank is vulnerable, and he's marked, Maelle is in Virtuo stance, and we'll use Pure Say to end the fight. And there you go, that's how to take out a pretty tricky Petank in under a minute. We'll get lots of experience and Chroma, and we'll get some pretty useful items as well, including 5 polished Chroma catalysts, 1 Recoat, and 5 colors of Lumina. If you're wondering when we're going to start using those colors of Lumina, it's going to be at the beginning of the next part once we're in Act 2. But for now, we'll turn around and we're going to run up the ramp. We're going to keep toward the left-hand side, and then we're going to run straight across the farm area until we get to the far wall. Then turn right and go up the ramp and keep toward the left-hand side. Once we get up to the top, it will open up a little bit, and there's going to be an enemy over here. Let's go ahead and fight him. Here we have a battle against 2 Reaper Cultists and 1 Greatsword Cultist. We'll begin with Gustav using a Marking Shot against the Greatsword Cultist, and then Maelle will finish it off with the Pure Say. The Reaper Cultists are flying enemies, so you want to use your free aim shot to take them out. If you shoot the orbs flying around them, you'll do damage, but just keep in mind that you'll also put shields up on the other enemies, so that's something you have to deal with. That's okay though, we can just do a couple more of those free aim shots and we'll be able to break some of those shields too. I'm always really bad at these combo attacks, trying to dodge or parry them, so just do your best, but if you take some damage, it won't be too bad. Now Maelle gets to have her revenge. We're going to shoot the enemy a few times with that free aim shot. If you hit those orbs, you'll take away 2 shields at once, and then that should be pretty quick to take out the rest of the enemy's health. After the fight, we'll get our rewards, and then we'll carry on. We'll start by going forward, and then we're going to stick over toward the left-hand side. There is an item behind the rock on our right. We'll get to that in just a moment. But for now, we're going to go over toward the far left side, and we're going to go through the crawl space. There's a Gestral merchant on the other side. Let's go ahead and chat with him. This place is just as beautiful as it is unsettling, but now is not the time to dwell on nature's beauty. Now is the time to trade stuff. Let's choose to trade, and then we're going to fight the merchant to get access to his better item. So we'll hold down square to initiate a fight, and then we're going to choose Maelle as our expeditioner combatant. Starting off, we're going to have Maelle use Pure Say to do lots of damage, and because we're in Virtuo stance, it only costs 2 AP. Now Jerijeri, the Gestral merchant, attacks, but we can parry and counterattack. On our next turn, we can use Spark to light him on fire and get a little bonus burn damage. This time around, Jerijeri's attack succeeds. It'll do a little damage to us, but luckily because we have the attack lifesteal Pictos, we're able to attack him with a normal attack and get all that health right back. After the fight, we'll collect our rewards, and then we'll carry on. You have defeated me in a duel. Rest assured that nothing in this universe will stop you now. Let's choose trade, and now we get access to a new weapon for Ciel called the Rangasun. It has a base power of 313, the darkness element, and it scales with defense and agility. It also costs 7,372 Chroma, so let's go ahead and purchase that. You can also purchase the other items that he has for sale, like the 10 Chroma Catalysts for 500 Chroma each, 5 polished Chroma Catalysts for 1,000 Chroma each, 3 colors of Lumina for 1,000 Chroma each, and we'll purchase the Ponytail for 1,000 Chroma. We will not purchase that Recoat because we don't need it. After all those purchases, we're going to turn toward the left and go over toward the edge of the cliff, and we can open up a new shortcut by putting up a new golden rope. Then we'll turn around and we're going to go back through that crawl space. We'll continue straight ahead forward, and you'll see that there's an item on the ground on the left side of the large rock. We'll go ahead and pick up this polished Chroma Catalyst. Then we're going to go around that large rock. Now we can follow the red flowers over toward the left and go back to the farm area. Turn toward the right and hug that right wall as you run forward. There's going to be a little cave in front of you. Go through it. And then stick toward the left side and you can grab an item on the ground. This is a color of Lumina. After getting the color of Lumina, keep going through the cave the way that we were going, and you'll be out by these red flowers. Stick toward the right and go up the hill. At the top, turn left and then go through the canyon. And then over on the right hand side are going to be some handholds. We're going to use those to go toward the left and over the gap. When you get to the other side, drop down. You'll see a large white friendly Nevron. We're going to ignore him for now, but we'll come back and do his little quest a little bit later on. For now, turn toward the right and go into the cave. And just a little ways ahead on the left hand side is going to be an expedition flag. Let's go ahead and use that real quick. This is the Tide Caverns Expedition flag. We're going to use the upgrade attributes option, and we're going to give some more points into the might stat of everyone who's leveled up. That's going to get Gustav up to 57 points. Maelle will get to 57 points. Ciel will get up to 54 points. And Lune didn't level up, so she's got nothing. Let's go ahead and leave the expedition flag and then head down the path. When you get to the end of the cliff, then you're going to use the grapple point to go over the gap and then proceed forward so that you can use the golden rope that'll take you on a long ride down toward the bottom. This area is going to be pretty dark and it's going to be hard to see, but I'll try to guide you the best I can, even though it might not be too visible on the screen. Starting off, you want to look left and you'll see a large, colorful Hexga enemy. You want to run over there and then initiate a fight with him. This is a fight against not only the Hexga, but there's also a Rocher on the left side of the screen and a Greatsword Cultist on the right. Gustav will start by using Marking Shot against that Greatsword Cultist.
Take him down.
And now Maelle can use Pierce to take out the Cultist, and we won't have to worry about it or the shields that it provides to its allies. Now Ciel is going to use Twilight Slash against either of the enemies. If you attack the Hexga, it will take away one of its shields, or if you attack the Rocher, you'll do some damage to it. Either way is fine though, we just want that moon charge. If the Hexga still has shields, there's no real reason to parry it, so we're just going to dodge its attacks. But since the Rocher doesn't have shields, we will parry it and do lots of damage. If we had used Twilight Slash against the Rocher, there's a good chance it could be dead right now, but even if it's alive, that's okay. The Hexga puts up shields for its allies, but we can take away the shields on the Hexga by having Maelle use Breaking Rules. That'll also give her a large amount of AP back. Now back to Ciel, we're going to have her use Focused Foretell on the Hexga. That's going to give it 10 stacks of Foretell, and we're also going to get the Sun Charge, so now we're going to be in Twilight mode on our next turn. Gustav is then going to use Marking Shot against the Hexga.
Take him down. Heads up, Ciel.
When the Rocher attacks, we can parry it. We're not going to do any damage because it's shielded, but at least we'll take away a shield. But when the Hexga attacks, we don't want to parry this one because it's marked, and we don't want that mark damage to go to waste, so we're just going to dodge the attacks. With Maelle's turn, we want to leave the marked Hexga alone, and we're going to focus on taking out that Hexga. So I'm going to have her use Fleur Fury. One of the attacks will take away its shield, and the rest will take away the remaining part of its health. And now it's Ciel's turn. We're in Twilight mode, so we do bonus damage. It's got 10 stacks of Foretell, so we'll use Twilight Slash against the marked enemy to do tons of damage against it. Here comes another attack from the Hexga. I would recommend trying to parry this one to do some counterattack damage. Now with Gustav, we don't have a full overcharge gauge, but 7 out of 10 is good enough. We can use overcharge and end the fight.
Hit me, tank, death!
After the fight, I got enough experience for Gustav to get up to level 20, Maelle is almost level 20, and Ciel is almost level 19. Now after the fight, we're going to turn toward the left, and you can see a glowing blue crystal in the distance. Let's go over to it, and we're going to attack it like we're doing a first strike against an enemy. That'll break the crystal and reveal the rock crystal inside that we should pick up. After that, turn toward the right, and you'll see some lanterns glowing in the distance. Let's go over there, but be careful because there's a Greatsword Cultist patrolling the area. We'll go over there and initiate a first strike against it. This is a fight against one Reaper Cultist on the left, the Greatsword Cultist in the middle, and a Rocher on the right side of the screen. We'll start by having Gustav use a marking shot against the Greatsword Cultist in the middle, and then Maelle can use Pierce to take it down. After that, Ciel is going to go into free aim mode, and we want to attack the Reaper Cultist on the left. If you shoot the little orbs flying around it, you'll do some bonus damage. Shooting all 3 orbs should be enough to take down the cultist, but just be aware that you will be putting shields up on the Rocher on the right. Now I don't have enough AP to really do anything significant to this enemy, so I'm just going to pass Ciel's turn, and then the Rocher will attack. You can choose to either dodge the attacks or parry them, it doesn't really matter here. But what does matter is avoiding the last attack, because if you don't, you'll be stunned. Now with Maelle, we can have her use Breaking Rules to just take away all of those shields at once. Ciel is no longer stunned, and now it's back over to Gustav. We'll have him use Marking Shot on the enemy, and then what we want to do is to parry the enemy's next attack, and together with that mark, the counterattack damage should be enough to take him down. And now we get enough experience for Maelle to get to level 20 and Ciel to get to level 19. After the fight, we'll turn slightly toward the left to see a large rock formation surrounded by lanterns. You want to follow it over toward the right hand side to pick up the color of Lumina off the ground.
Great.
After that, you'll have to jump up the ledge to get up to the upper lanterns, and then keep following that rock formation as it circles toward the left, and you'll see another glowing crystal here. Let's attack it, and then we can grab the rock crystal inside.
Nice.
Now turn slightly toward the right, and you're going to run in between 2 rock formations, and then drop down the cliff toward the lower area. Then turn toward the right, and follow the path forward toward the lanterns in the distance. If you stick toward the left-hand side, there's going to be an item on the ground right inside this lantern. Let's go ahead and pick it up, and we'll get another color of Lumina. Turn toward the right, keep going down the path. You'll see another crystal up ahead, but be careful because this is actually an enemy that's waiting to pop out and attack us. So we'll go forward, not get surprised by it, and we're going to attack it. And this is a more powerful version of the Rocher. Starting off, we're going to have Gustav use 3 free aim shots against the enemy. That will leave him with 2 AP left. We're then going to use those 2 AP to use a marking shot against the enemy and give it a mark.
Let's spill
And now Maelle can use a Pierce to kill the enemy before it even gets a chance to attack. If you didn't get the professional trophy earlier for defeating a boss without taking any damage, now should be the time that you would get it. As a reward for this fight, we get our third rock crystal, and that's all we need for that friendly Nevron's quest. We're going to keep going and then use the golden rope to get down to the lower level. In the distance, you'll see a new enemy called a gold Cheveliere. Let's go ahead and fight it. Cheveliere is the French word for knight, and it's where we also get the word chivalry. Well, enough of a linguistics lesson, let's go ahead and kill this guy. This enemy is definitely tougher than the last Rocher boss that we just fought. We'll begin kind of the same way. Gustav will use a marking shot against it. And then Maelle can use Pierce to do tons of damage. Ciel is then going to use Focus Foretell to get 10 stacks of Foretell on the enemy. When the enemy attacks, it can use either a frozen attack or a fiery attack. Either one is a multi-hit attack, so just be prepared to try to dodge all of those. Even if it hits you though, not a big deal. Now that it's Maelle's turn again, we're going to have her use Fleurit Fury. And now Ciel can use her Twilight Slash, which is powered up by those 10 stacks of Foretell it already has on it, and this should be enough to end the fight. If not, Gustav has the next turn, and he should be able to win for us. After the battle, we get a new Pictos called Perilous Parry. It gives +1 AP on parry, but the damage received is doubled. Now after the fight, you'll see that there's going to be a door straight ahead of us, and just to the left of it is going to be some Chroma that we should pick up.
This will be useful.
After grabbing that Chroma, now we're going to go through the large door, and we're going to find ourselves back inside the manor. There's not much to do here, but what we want to do is to go forward just a little bit and examine the wardrobe on the left. Choose Examine. And we'll get a new outfit for Maelle. Let's turn toward the left and go through the door. This basically takes us out into the entryway area for the manor. Let's go down the stairs and over toward the right. If you need to use the expedition flag, it's on your right. Otherwise, keep going straight and go through the doors and you'll return back into the caves. Once you're back in these stone wave cliffs, you want to run forward, but don't use that golden rope just yet. Stick over toward the right side, and if you go toward the back of the area, you can pick a Recoat up off the ground.
Useful.
Once you have the Recoat, turn, and then you're going to use the golden rope to go up to the upper area. Now because we went to the manor and then came back, the enemies that we defeated earlier, like the Hexga and the Greatsword Cultist, have respawned in this area. You can fight them if you want to. I'm just going to ignore them and run past them. So once you go up the hill, you'll see that the golden rope is on the left and the Hexga enemy is right next to it. We're going to stick toward the right side of the Hexga and go just to the right side of that glowing rock crystal. And we'll be able to run up the ramp that will take us through these red flowers up toward the top of this area, and we can avoid the fights against the enemies. When you get to the top of the hill, on the left-hand side is a grapple point that we're going to ignore for right now. Instead, we'll turn toward the right, go through this opening, and there's going to be a Pictos sitting on top of some rocks in the distance. We've got to be careful as we hop through this rocky area all the way toward the back, and we're going to get that Pictos. If you fall down, you just have to go over toward the right-hand side and then follow the path of red flowers back up to the top and try again. We'll take a running leap here to get up to the top, and then we can grab this new Pictos called Breaking Shots, giving 50% increased break damage with free aim shots. You can either jump back across those ledges, or you can just hop down. This is what you would do if you fell down before. You would just run along the right side edge and then go up the ramp that has all of the red flowers and go back up to the top of the hill. Once you're at the top of the hill, use that grapple point to go across the gap. Now be careful because there is an enemy that patrols around this area and you don't want to get caught off guard. So we're going to sneak up on this enemy and then initiate that first strike, and we'll have a battle against 3 opponents. This fight has a Rocher as well as 2 of those Greatsword cultists. We're going to begin by having Gustav use a marking shot against 1 of those Greatsword cultists. And then Maelle is going to use Pierce to eliminate it. And now we'll have Ciel use Focused Foretell on the Rocher enemy. The Greatsword cultist will injure itself, giving itself 4 shields, and then we get to dodge a couple attacks before doing a jump encounter to get rid of 3 of those shields. When the Rocher attacks, let's go ahead and parry this one, and then we'll be able to take it out with the combined damage of the parry and the focus foretell from before. Now we've only got that Greatsword cultist left. It's got 1 shield, so let's break it using a Fleuret Fury, and we'll do some more damage and increase its break gauge a little bit more. And now with Ciel's turn, we're going to use Twilight Slash. That's going to hit the enemy's weakness to darkness and also give us a moon charge so we can go into Twilight mode. The enemy's break gauge is pretty well filled up, not all the way, but if we use an overcharge with even 7 out of 10 charges, we should be able to break him.
Let me take that!
Thanks to being stunned, the enemy passes their turn, and now Maelle can use a spark to deal some damage, light the enemy on fire. That plus the burn damage will get us very close to killing the enemy. We didn't quite get it, so we'll just have Ciel use a normal attack, and that will be the end of the fight. Let's collect our rewards, and then continue on from here. After the fight, we're going to turn toward the left, and then we're going to go down the hill a little bit, and drop down to the area below. Near the corner of the broken down wall in the far left corner, we're able to flip this switch. Now we can turn around, hug the right wall as we go down the ramp, and we can go through this door. Now we'll go up the stairs. When you get to the top of the stairs and can't go any further, there's going to be an open door that you can go through. We'll go through that and we can collect the Chroma on the chair.
Interesting.
After getting the Chroma, then turn around to go back through the doorway and head down the stairs. You can head straight out the door and then continue going forward until you get to some red flowers. Then turn left and go up the ramp. Continue going forward and there's going to be an item on the right hand side just before the golden rope. Let's pick it up to get a color of Lumina. And now we can go up that golden rope. When you're at the top, go toward the right and you'll find an expedition flag.
Parry is over there. Ooh, but I sense something scary.
Before we figure out what that scary thing is, we're going to use the expedition flag because we've gotten some levels up. We're going to go to upgrade attributes and assign more points to that might stat. So at this point, Gustav gets up to 60 points in might. Maelle gets up to 60 points as well. Ciel gets up to 57 points. And Luna gets up to 57 points. Once we're done upgrading those attribute points, we're going to choose to rest to get all of our health back. Now that we're all rested up, we're going to choose the fast travel option, and we want to select Tide Caverns to return to that area. Once you arrive, then turn around, and we're going to go talk to that friendly Nevron that we were ignoring earlier. So let's head out of the cave. And then we're going to talk to the large white friendly Nevron on the edge of the cliff. Abandoned and incomplete. Entrapped in stone. quite the situation I'm in, right? If you don't say something in the next few seconds, I shall knock myself to sleep. How did this happen? I do not exactly know. But I can certainly guess it has to do with the mistress. Perhaps you could tell us a little bit more. Oh, you want to know more? Just a moment. I'm wondering what I could ask in exchange. You're not really in a position of power here. A poor threat, sadly. In my weak and incomplete state, anything could kill me at this point. The others, they possess shiny, shimmering rocks, glistening on their back. Why I lack the same luster, I do not know, but it maddens me. We could potentially help you with that. I hope you can. The cavern might be your best bet. If you could find 3 of these lustrous rocks, oh, it will be magnificent. Now let's talk to him again. Is this what you were looking for? Show rock crystal. Oh, mistress. This luster, yes. Would you mind inserting them on my back? I hope we won't regret this. Oh, the ecstasy. Look at me. I am perfect. And your end of the bargain? Of course, I have not forgotten. But surely you can first let me enjoy this. Ah, the bliss. Now remember, do not attack the friendly Nevron. We're just going to collect the new Pictos on the ground that he was guarding. This is Auto Shell. Apply Shell for 3 turns on battle start. Now let's turn, and then we're going to go back to that expedition flag just inside the cave. And once we get there, we're going to use it, and we're going to choose the fast travel option once again. This time we're going to Basalt Waves. Once we arrive, we're going to turn toward the left, and we're going to find a grapple point located on the other edge of the cliff. Let's use it to hop across the gap, and then go down the hill in front of us. We can then grapple again to the far ledge, and on the right-hand side is a building. We'll go inside, and we can use this expedition flag to unlock flooded buildings. When you're ready, leave the flag, and then go through the nearby doorway. Turn toward the right, and go downstairs. When you get to the bottom floor, proceed outside till you get to the red flowers, and then keep going straight ahead, and you'll see a Rocher enemy. We're going to go and fight him. This battle is against 3 of those Rocher enemies, and they're pretty easy to take down. Starting off, Gustav will use Marking Shot against one of the enemies. And then Maelle will follow that up with a Pierce that will take that enemy down. Over to Ciel, you can either use one of her skills or just attack. When the enemy attacks, make sure that you're parrying to get that counterattack damage that really speeds things up. And of course, you'll want to do it for both of the enemies. Now with only one enemy left, we're going to go ahead and hit him with the Pierce, and that should end the fight. Let's collect our rewards, including enough experience for Gustav and Ciel to level up, and then we're going to keep going from here. Let's turn left and then run forward just a bit through this passageway. Then we'll turn toward the left. Run down to the end of this area where you see some lanterns, Ignore the spot on the right for right now, and instead turn left and go into the building. We want to start going up the stairs. We'll have to jump over this gap, and then keep going up the stairs. When you get to the top, go into the nearby door, and then outside. You'll then want to drop down the ledge just in front of you, and you can pick up the item on the ground. This is a revived Tint shard. Now we can use the handholds just to the left to climb back up to the top. Once you're back up to the top, go up this ramp, and there's going to be another Greatsword Cultist enemy right in front of us, so we'll go ahead and attack this one. This fight has the Greatsword Cultist and 2 of the Reaper Cultists. We're going to start by having Gustav use Marking Shot on the Greatsword Cultist, and now Maelle can take it out with a Pierce. Ciel is going to go into free aim mode. If you shoot the orbs, it'll do a lot of damage, but also put shields up on the other enemy. Well, her weapon already does dark damage, which is the enemy's weakness, so I'm going to avoid hitting those orbs and just carefully aim for the enemy itself. Now the other enemy does not have any shields, and we can just attack it normally without having to deal with those. When the enemy attacks, try to dodge or parry. I wasn't very good at it, and I did get hit by that third attack. Now back to Ciel. I probably could have killed the enemy if I hit all of the shots here, but unfortunately I did miss one of those as I was trying to hit the orbs flying around. But really 3 of those orbs being hit should be enough to take the enemy out. If not, we've got Maelle right after that who can finish the fight with her free aim shots. And this gets us enough for Maelle to get up to level 21. After the fight, there's a nearby item that we want to get. On the right hand side, there's a Recoat.
This will be useful.
And then we'll turn a little bit toward the left and go to the edge of the cliff where we can create a shortcut by making a golden rope appear. Now from here, we're going to turn around and go back down the ramp a little bit. And on the right hand side in the distance, you can see a grapple point. Let's use that. And now we're going to go forward and grab a new Pictos.
Nice.
This is Enfeebling Mark. Marked enemies deal 30% less damage. Turn around, and we're going to use the grapple point to go back across. Now we'll turn around again and drop down from the ledge to go to the lower area. And we can use the grapple point to go into the nearby building across the way from us. From here, turn toward the left and go up the ramp. You're going to see an enemy in the distance, but ignore it for now. We're going to turn toward the right and climb up the ledge. And there's going to be another item on the ground over here. Let's go pick it up. This is a color of Lumina. Now we're going to hop back down that ledge to go to the lower area. And we'll go up the ramp. And we're going to go all the way up so that we can fight the large Hexga enemy. This fight is against not only the Hexga, but also 2 Greatsword Cultists, so there's going to be a lot of shields going up in this fight. Starting off, Gustav is going to use Marking Shot against one of those Greatsword Cultists, and then Maelle will follow that up with a Pierce, and that should take out one of the enemies, and that's a lot of shields we don't have to worry about. We're not going to use any of Ciel's AP, instead we're just going to attack the Reaper Cultist normally to gain 1 more AP. When the enemy attacks, do your best to dodge or parry and counterattack when possible. For the Greatsword Cultist, it'll give itself 4 shields. We can dodge the first 2 attacks, then jump and counterattack, and that'll get rid of 3 of the 4 shields. But the Hexga puts the shields back on. But Maelle can take those shields away again when we use Breaking Rules. And we're going to use that against the Greatsword Cultist. Back to Ciel's turn, we're going to have her use Twilight Slash against the Greatsword Cultist. That's going to hit its weakness to dark damage and also give us a moon charge. Now it's Gustav's turn, and we're going to have him use a Lumiere Assault against the Greatsword Cultist to get our overcharge gauge up to full. It's the enemy's turn again, so of course try to dodge or parry if possible. Ciel has a Pictos equipped that does not allow her to gain AP when she parries, so when the enemies are attacking her, I'm just dodging, which is easier than parrying. And now Maelle is going to use Breaking Rules against the Hexga to take away all of his shields. Back over to Ciel, we already have a moon charge, now we should get a sun charge by using Focused Foretell against that Hexga.
Here's your card.
Well, we already have a full overcharge gauge with Gustav, but the enemy isn't close to being broken, so what I want to do instead is just use a Lumiere Assault against that Greatsword Cultist to break through its shield and to do some more damage. It's the enemy's turn once again, so dodge and parry if you want to. That Greatsword Cultist will keep injuring itself and reapplying some shields. And of course, the Hexga needs to add some more shields too. But Maelle will come in, and she's going to use Breaking Rules against the Hexga to take away the shields that it has. That opens it up for Ciel to come in. She's in Twilight mode right now, and I'm going to use a Focused Foretell to get its stacked foretells all the way up to 20. Once again, the Greatsword Cultist injures itself and gains some more shields. We'll dodge its attacks. Gustav's turn is a little complicated because we're full on overcharge charges, but we don't have enough AP to actually use overcharge. We do have enough for marking shot, but we don't need to do that really, so instead I'm just going to have him do a normal attack. If I attack the Hexga directly, I'll do damage, and if I attack the Greatsword Cultist, I'll just break his shield, but I will gain 1 AP either way. Again, when the enemy attacks, try to dodge and parry if possible. Now you really want to make sure at this point that the Hexga has no shields. Luckily he doesn't have any shields right now, so I'll use Breaking Rules against the Greatsword Cultist. Otherwise you'd want to use it against the Hexga to make sure that it has no shields. And that's because on Ciel's next turn, she's going to be able to use Twilight Slash. It's powered up with the 20 foretell that we have stacked on it, and we've got the Twilight mode active, and that will be enough to take the enemy down. If you didn't have the maximization trophy yet, this would be the time that you could get it as well. After the battle with the Hexga, we're going to look around the area where he was patrolling, and we're going to see a new Pictos on the ground, so let's go and pick that one up. And this is Healing Tint Energy. Healing Tints also give 1 AP. We'll then continue up the path along the red flowers, and we're going to go to the golden rope in the distance, and we're going to use it to go up to the upper level. Once we're up there, we want to go through the nearby door, across the room and out the other door. Then turn around toward the left and use the handholds to climb up to the upper area. We'll then have to jump across a small gap, and then we can grab a new weapon on the ground for Lune. It's called the Coralim. It has 218 base power, the ice element, and it also scales with vitality and defense. Drop down to the lower level, but don't use the golden rope. Instead, from that middle room between the two doors, you'll go down the stairs, and then you're going to go outside and over toward the right. We can then use a grapple point to go across the gap, and this will bring us back to where the expedition flag is when we fast traveled over here. So let's go ahead and use it. We can rest if we need to, and because we leveled up, we want to go to the upgrade attributes option, and we're going to give 3 more points into might for Gustav, raising him to 63. Maelle is going to get 3 more points, raising her up to 63. Ciel gets 3 points, going up to 60. And Lune gets nothing. When you're ready, then leave the expedition flag and head down the hill with all the red flowers. You'll run into the darkness with some cool effects going on. There'll be a bit of a scene and then a boss fight.
Get rid of him. The rock should be nearby.
We'll begin the fight against Lampmaster by having Gustav use Marking Shot. If the enemy uses its first turn to use the power of its lamps to attack, wait for the purple flash and then dodge. When it switches off the lights and attacks, it will attack 4 times from left to right, and then you just want to watch those lamps. They'll kind of glow brightly and then explode, and that's the time to dodge when it does the explosion. It's Maelle's turn. The enemy is still marked, so we're going to go ahead and use Pierce to do tons of damage. That'll take out about half of its health and fill up most of its break gauge. With Ciel, we're just going to do a normal attack to gain 1 more AP, and then Gustav is going to use a Marking Shot to mark the enemy. When we counter the enemy's attack, we'll do a lot more damage thanks to this mark. When it triggers a dark explosion, it will leap into the air and slam its fist down. You should be able to counterattack that one and do massive damage to it. When he ends his turn, he turns off the lights and attacks again, so remember to dodge when those lanterns that are floating in the air around it explode. And now with Maelle, we're going to have her use Spark to light the enemy on fire, and we're going to kind of finish up the remainder of this fight just using our normal attacks and the burn damage that we have now from the burning enemy. So like I said, Ciel is going to attack normally and gain some more AP. Gustav will also attack normally to gain some AP. When he does the jump attack, wait for him to pause in the air, and when he starts moving again, that's when you parry and counter. At the end of his turn, he switches off the lights and attacks, so make sure that you dodge accordingly. You can also try to disrupt the aim of one of your allies. This is a 3-hit combo, so just try to dodge this one appropriately. And then when his turn ends, he turns off the lights and attacks, so dodge these attacks once again. Now we're just going to do normal attacks to finish this fight, and the reason we're doing this is because this is going to be a 2-part fight, and we'll begin phase 2 of the fight with the same amount of AP that we had at the end of phase 1.
Easier than expected.
Hey, don't jinx us. No need to invite misfortune.
I don't see any stones.
What's happening?
Misfortune.
Like I said, phase 2 begins right where phase 1 left off. The enemy will begin using a vast ball of light. You have to jump over this one and then counterattack it. The enemy will do a strange ritual with its lamps. You're supposed to look at the order of the lamps as they glow and then shoot them in that order to disable his next attack, but his next attack is actually great for parrying, so we're going to completely ignore that little gimmick and mechanic, and instead we're just going to have Gustav go straight into an overcharge.
For those who come off.
Now because we didn't do the gimmick with the lanterns, it will attack us 1 time with a massive sword of light, but it's easy to parry.
Let's spill some ink.
Now we can have Maelle use Spark in order to light the enemy on fire and get that passive burn damage. Ciel is going to use Twilight Slash to give ourselves a moon charge.
I saw your future.
With Gustav, we're going to use Marking Shot to mark the enemy. Luckily, the burn damage does not trigger the mark effect, but that means that you want to not parry the next attack, just try to dodge it. The flying combo is a 4-hit attack. The timing is a little bit slow, so be patient with it, and also know that when the enemy flies away, it's not over yet. It'll come flying back for one more attack. Listen for its screeches to know when to dodge. Here's a strange ritual that we're going to completely ignore once again. And then with Maelle, because the enemy is so close to being broken, we're just going to go ahead and use Flirt Fury, and that will break him. Over to Ciel, we already have a moon charge. Now we're going to use Focused Foretell to get our sun charge, and also give him a 10 Foretell. The enemy doesn't get to do anything because it's stunned, and then Gustav is going to use another Marking Shot against him. We're going to completely skip Maelle's turn and go over to Ciel. Because the enemy's marked, we're in Twilight mode. The enemy has 10 stacks of Foretell. We can use Twilight Slash to do enough damage. Even with completely missing the quick time events, we're still able to take him out. After the fight, everyone leveled up. We got a new Pictos called At Death's Door, deal 50% more damage if health is below 10%, as well as a Shape of Life and 3 polished Chroma catalysts.
Is it really dead?
Looks like it.
Is this it?
Flory. All right. Ready to sail like a snail. Just jump, mes amis. It's not that high.
We can finally cross the sea. You don't happen to have some wine stashed away, do you?
Wine?
Hey, you can do this.
I hate water.
She doesn't seem that far now, does she?
Yeah. Wanna throw one more rock?
The others are waiting, but...
You might reach her.
Okay.
Ooh,
what about that one?
Does it really matter?
Well, you know, like I always say, it's not about the rock. It's more about...
Gustav.
Run!
Now we have an event battle against the white-haired man. All you have to do is to hold down the right stick and skip your turn every single time.
We've done nothing to you. We should be on the same side. Let her go.
Something's going on up there. Escape! Get us up there! Fuck! No.
You won't yet understand. But this is a kindness, not a cruelty.
You let her come. You know she's too weak for this. How could you let her take such a risk?
You only care when things are right in front of you. My sweet child, you were supposed to stay home. I told you not to worry. But since you're here now, just stay put.
What are you saying? You must go home, now. This does not involve you.
When this is over, we'll go home together.
No!
This won't make sense to you now. But we both want what's best for our families. I'm sorry you're caught in the middle, but I did try to warn you. It's been a while. Stay out of this. You chose to walk away. You don't get to come back now and interfere.
You've lived more than a lifetime. It's time to let her go.
A lifetime. A lifetime with my family torn apart. No. I want my family back.
It's not your family. But she is.
You would use her.
She chose to come. I didn't make the rules between you two. Hey. You alright? It's okay. I'll handle things here. Get back to your friends. Go.
So that's it. You've set us down this path. But are you ready for the consequences?
She'll never paint again.
Last time we sat together like this.
In Lumina, mourning our parents.
Seems like every time we're together, it's to grieve. I wish we could have spent more time in less hopeless contexts.
The plan doesn't change. We aim for the monolith. We keep heading north. With SKA's help, we can make it. But we lost the Lumina converter, so...
It's okay, we can think about that later.
All the backups were destroyed by that man, but Expedition 32 will bring more. Their chances will be better. We need to prepare them. I should update our journals.
Hey. It's okay. tomorrow will still come.
Seemed important. If you want to reach the monolith, the best path is through the quarry up north.
Who are you?
And where did you get that expedition uniform?
Strange way to say thank you. I'm sorry I couldn't save your friend. I'm wearing an expedition uniform because I, too, am an expeditioner.
What? What do you mean you're an...
I've never seen you before.
First expedition. Expedition 0.
Expedition 0? But how are you alive and not...
Old? I don't know exactly, but some of us stopped aging and were not affected by the gamage.
Some of you? Like the man on the cliff?
Anwar, our commander.
Why? Why did he massacre our team?
How could he turn on his own people?
He believes his immortality is a gift from the painters. Killing her would kill him too, and he enjoys living forever.
And you don't?
Burying everyone you know while you live on can weigh you down a bit. I couldn't help your friend, but perhaps I can help you.
You want to join us?
If you don't mind the company, yes.
So, if I want to kill Renoir, I have to kill the paintress first. What's your name?
Versa.
And now we begin Act 2, Verso. We now find ourselves at our camp in control of a new character called Verso. We're going to head over toward the left and use the expedition flag, and this is where we're going to end part 6. Thank you very much for watching, I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit that like button as it really helps me out, and consider subscribing so that you can join our amazing community, and so that you can stay up to date with the rest of the videos in the series and more to come in the future. I'll see you soon in part 7 where we kick off Act 2. Until then, thanks for watching and have a good day.